All right. Now, your new record, Every Woman's Dreams, the video has been getting a lot of spins on, like, BT After Dark. So, like, how would you explain the growth from, like, your first album back in 87 up until this recent one?
The growth? You mean my own growth?
Yeah, musical growth.
Musical growth? I would say I've grown a whole lot musically. I Love Your Smile, around that time, I was younger. I was like 18, and music back then was more like, kind of young, teeny boppy. But this new album is more mature. I co-wrote on every song except 2, and I co-produced half of the album, and I've never done that in the past. And I just feel like this is going to be the first time the public's going to really get to know who I am as an artist.
Right.
Because I was involved in so many ways. Like, for instance, like on Every Woman's Dreams, the single, and on my new single called Take Care of You, which we're going to be shooting the video in about 2 weeks. But I co-produced. No one knows, but I went in by myself and with an engineer and just produced all my vocals and came up with all my background parts. I did all my backgrounds, and I always had like a producer tell me how to sing. But this was the first time I went in the studio and actually just sang from my heart. So I just feel like I've grown a lot. I matured a lot. Lyrically, it's a lot. I think a lot deeper because over the years I've experienced a lot. And this time around, I wanted to talk to women. I wanted women to know that we need to have more confidence and we need to not settle for less. We deserve to have the best. And I wanted to talk about that because I lost one of my best friends. She was with the wrong man, and he murdered her. And I felt like if she would have waited for the right man, she would still be alive today. So I said it's really important this time for me to talk to women and let them know how important it is for us to, have strong, self-esteem, strong self-esteem, and to not settle.
Right, that's right. And to all my fellas out there, respect your women, treat them like queens.
Yeah, and even with the men. I mean, there are crazy women out there. If you're not with the right woman, it's better to be by yourself and wait for the right person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, what are some of your favorite cuts off that CD?
Take Care of You is the next single. That's one of my favorite songs. I co-wrote that with my husband, and PMG did the track, and they co-produced it with me. That's one of my favorite songs. Let's see. Then I have a song called Crazy for You that I co-wrote with a guy named Jamie Jazz. And let's see. The first song on the album is called Get Up. That's one of my favorite songs. It's an up-tempo song.
Okay.
And I don't know. Let's see. Oh, and I have a song called Chocolate about my husband.
Chocolate. Yeah. Now, what do you think about the current crop of female singers today? The Beyoncés, the Ciaras, the Brooke Valentines, the Tiara Maries.
I think they're all hot. I think they're all dope. It's like I'm happy for everybody that's doing their thing. And I'm a big Beyonce fan. Alicia Keys, Ciara. I like Beyonce because I feel like Beyonce is a complete package. Like, she can sing, she can dance. She's got the perfect look, and so I'm really happy for everybody that's doing well.
Right. And what do you feel about this whole resurgence of like late '80s and '90s R&B, like New Edition, Guy, Keith Sweat, SWV, all these acts that were around at that time period is coming back out?
I'm really happy that they're coming back out because they were hot back then and they're still hot today. Mm-hmm. So I think the new generation need to get a taste of, what we were doing in the 80s and the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Minus the fashion, mind you.
Oh yeah, the fashion there, yeah. and the trip part is the thing is New Edition, because we had the same management. So I grew up with them, and New Edition is still very young because they started really, really young. Mm-hmm. So when you mention New Edition, you mention SWV and people like that. Everybody started so young. So them coming back, it's not like a bunch of old people trying to come back. They're still very, very young.
Right.
Because they started so young.
Now, do you think that there's a disadvantage and advantage by starting out in the music business so young, by there being like very shady people and signing the wrong contract and getting like jerked money wise and stuff?
see, I had a strong support system with me, you know, around me. My mom was there. You know, my mom managed me. She kept a lot of the negativity away from me. I think when you start young, you definitely got to have the right folks around you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, because this business is shady. It can be shady. And if you don't have the right people around you, you can really, really get hurt. You can get screwed in this business. So if you start out young, you definitely got to have some people that you know you can trust that's got your back.
Right. So that would be the advice that you have for anybody that wants to get into the game.
Like I said earlier, definitely have a good support system around. And if you know, the quickest way to get in the business is if you know somebody that's in the business that can get get yourself down on get your demo tape and have someone take it in there. If not, enter into a lot of different talent shows, like you were talking about American Idol. If you can audition for that, try out for that, and you just have to keep pushing and keep trying. And it may not happen overnight, and if it doesn't, you cannot give up. I mean, look at me. I'm doing this since 87. And I said, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up. And you can't. You just have to keep going and keep going. Some people, it may happen for overnight, and some people may have to keep trying. But if it doesn't happen overnight, you don't give up.
Right. And the extra tidbit from your boy J Mace, get on some business books, know about the music business, and make sure you read those contracts. Don't sign on the dotted line unless you read every nook and cranny.
Oh, yeah. You can't just sign any contract a person gives you, because you could be signing your life away.
Most definitely.
So you really got to be careful with that.
Definitely, because I see that all the time, like reading about people suing somebody because when they were 15, 16, they signed this contract, we left them broke, and this certain percentage of the royalties and stuff.
It happened to TLC. They talked publicly about it. So, yeah, you really have to be careful with that.
Yeah,
you have to have a really good attorney. And you have to have somebody, if you don't know about the business, you got to find somebody that knows about the business that can even look over your attorney stuff, because you got to be careful with your attorney, too. So it's a lot to it. It's a lot to it, but it's all worth it. It's all good.
Right. So how do you feel about women's place in music today? Because, like, for me personally, like, seeing these women, walking around, like, half naked or whatever, it's like, to me, it's sort of like, okay, like, women need to be treated more so it's, like, regular than just, like, sex objects.
Right. Yeah, like, when I look at some of the, videos and stuff, I feel like us women, I think we're going a little too far. And I feel like every video looks the same now. There's nothing unique. Like, every video has a bunch of women in bathing suits in the background, shaking their butt. And it's like, okay, we've seen that before. And then I just feel like women, like I said earlier, this goes back to what I said earlier, I said we need to start having more self-esteem and know that we don't have to take our clothes off to feel beautiful. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, like Jermaine Stewart once said.
You can be fully clothed and still look sexy. You don't have to have your butt hanging out to be beautiful.
Right, like Jermaine Stewart said, we don't have to take our clothes off just to have a good time.
Exactly.
And sip on some cherry wine.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, before we close this interview out, do you mind giving the people a little bit of sample from your record, like singing "Every Woman's Dream"?
You want me to say a cappella?
Acapella. If you don't want to, that's fine. But only if you want.
You don't have to worry about a damn thing, ladies. You deserve a man that'll bend over backwards and buy you all those things that every woman dreams, like Gucci bags, Cartier, your Escalade, and diamond rings.
Yeah, y'all, she still has the voice. Any shout-outs you want to give?
Shout-outs?
Shout-outs.
I just want to give a shout-out to PMG, my producers I worked with on the album, Butter. That was another producer I worked with, Mike City, John Barnes, James Jazz. And I want to give a shout-out to Playtime Entertainment. That's the label I signed my joint venture deal with, because my husband and I started our own label.
Okay.
So I want to give a shout-out to my whole team.
All right.
And I also want to give a shout-out to the fans, and I want the fans to know that I love each and every one of you, and I want to thank you for supporting me over the years. I mean, even during my time off, I was still receiving a lot of my fans had websites on me, and I was reading up, what they had to say about me, and they had nothing but positive things to say, and they couldn't wait for me to come back out. And I just want to thank those fans that waited for me to come back.